Have you ever heard the story of Coca-Cola's racist origins, or the story of Beaconsfield Park, the park in Macon, Georgia that was closed rather than be integrated? Well, those are the two stories we're going to talk about tonight. And if you would like to share your own questions or even just send me comments, you can do so at onemichistory.com in the description page. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, you can do so on my Buy Me Coffee on my Patreon page in the description below. But without further ado, let's get started.
This holiday, instead of giving them something nice, why not gift them somewhere nice? During the IHG Hotels and Resorts Cyber Sale, you can do just that and save. Shopping is easy in the IHG One Rewards app, where you'll save 20% on travel across 6,000 plus global destinations. And if you want to gift yourself somewhere nice, go ahead. You'll earn more and save more during the Cyber Sale. Check out all the deals at ihg.com/cybersale. Terms apply.
Did you know that Coca-Cola was heavily influenced by racism and marketed primarily to whites, while Pepsi established a division dedicated to targeting African-American consumers? John Pemberton, an Atlanta pharmacist and the inventor of Coke. This product was actually his second drink, though. Prior to Coca-Cola, in 1884, Pemberton created a French wine cola. This drink was a copy of a popular French wine that contained cocaine. However, just as the product was gaining popularity, Atlanta made a decision to outlaw alcohol sales in November of 1885. In the United States, prohibition was often used as a tool to control minorities, particularly European Catholics and African Americans. Law enforcement officers used prohibition against intoxication to justify detaining members of Black communities, especially in the South. This led to, in 1886, John Pemberton creating a temperance drink with reported medicinal effects. He named it Coca-Cola. This drink became popular, and it was seen as a socially acceptable alternative to drinking alcohol in bars. Coca-Cola quickly became embraced as an intellectual beverage of well-off whites. Eliminating alcohol was only a temporary solution, as Asada G. Chandler, who had taken over the business, kept the formula a secret. However, as an Atlanta newspaper would reveal in 1891, what consumers already knew, Coca-Cola contained cocaine. Chandler began marketing the drink as refreshing rather than medicinal and managed to survive the controversy. But concerns erupted again after the company began distributing distinctive glass bottles in 1899, making it easily accessible to people of all races. Middle-class whites worried that the soft drink was contributing to the rise of cocaine use among African Americans. Southern newspapers reported Negro coke fiends were raping white women, and the police were seemingly powerless to stop them. By 1903, Chandler responded to these white fears and a wave of anti-narcotics legislation by removing cocaine and adding sugar and caffeine. Coca-Cola's recipe was not the only thing influenced by racism. During the 1920s and 30s, Coca-Cola was heavily influenced by white supremacy, and this manifested itself in their lack of targeting of Black consumers. Coca-Cola would go as far as introducing double-sided vending machines, one side for Black Americans and another side for white Americans. Meanwhile, Pepsi was the second largest drink company in the country and attempting to compete with Coca-Cola by offering a sweeter product in a larger bottle for the same price. Despite their best efforts, they still trailed behind Coca-Cola into the 1940s. To gain a competitive edge, Pepsi CEO Walter S. Mack hired a team of African Americans to create a Negro Markets department aimed at marketing to African Americans. Into the late 1940s, Pepsi began a marketing campaign targeted at African American consumers in the Southern Black Belt and in northern urban areas. They hired Duke Ellington as a spokesperson, ran ads in Black publications, and set up special point-to-purchase displays in stores frequented by African Americans. However, as a result, some Americans began to associate Pepsi with Black people, and Pepsi quickly killed the program. However, this image of Coke and Pepsi as white and Black drinks continued to persist. It was not long after this that Coke sought to shake their whites-only drink tag and began marketing to African Americans. They also began to support African American organizations and developed a relationship with the NAACP. It took some time, but the new tactic worked, and today, racial lines between soda companies, even in the South, is just a distant memory. Soft drink companies are now on good terms with one of their largest demographic markets, African Americans. Have you ever heard the story of Beaconsfield Park? January 26, 1970, the United States Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Georgia Supreme Court's decision to shut down a public park rather than integrate it. In 1911, United States Senator Augustus O. Bacon executed his will, bequeathing to the city of Macon a park and pleasure ground designed exclusively for the white residents. He argued that despite the lack of malice intent, that the two races should forever remain separate. In limiting the use and enjoyment of this property perpetually to whites, I am not influenced by any unkindness and feeling. I am, however, without hesitation in the opinion that the social relations of the two races should be forever separate. In 1920, Beaconsfield Park opened under the trustee of the city of Macon, and for years the park enforced segregation, only allowing whites to use the facilities. May 1963, black citizens took legal actions against the city of Macon, claiming that the racial restriction violated their 14th Amendment rights. Despite this, the city of Macon resigned its role as trustee in February of 1964. The court appointed two private individuals to take their place. As a result, the racial segregation policy remained in effect. In 1966, the Supreme Court ruled in Evans versus Newton that black residents could not be excluded from Beaconsfield Public Park. However, rather than integrate, the Georgia Supreme Court responded by terminating the Beaconsfield Trust and closing the park to the public altogether. In 1970, the United States Supreme Court in Evans versus Albany ruled that the Georgia Supreme Court decision to close the segregated park of Beaconsfield did not violate their 14th Amendment rights. As a result, Beaconsfield Park is now an office park and a strip mall. Thank you. I'm your host, Country Boy, and this has been One Mic History. I'm going to continue with this mini-series, and if you have questions or you just want to leave your comments, like I said, you can do so at onemichistory.com in the contact page. Thank you for listening, and peace.